So if you're new to this channel, I have been covering what's been going on with Drake versus UMG, and some would say Drake versus Kendrick Lamar in this defamation lawsuit. And actually, the entire time the beef with Drake versus Kendrick Lamar was going on, we covered it here extensively, the back and forth, song for song. And then we finally came to the end of it with Not Like Us and The Heart Part 6. And I said, hey, Drake, man, Drake went out sad with that one, and I hated it. And obviously, I think the reason he slowed things down at the end of The Heart Part 6 was because he was going to be filing this defamation lawsuit and didn't want to keep things going, or he just accepted defeat. Kendrick Lamar on top of the world, going through his thing, doing the halftime Super Bowl show last year. And then Drake files this lawsuit against UMG. In this defamation lawsuit against UMG, what Drake claimed was that UMG used this song Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar to defame Drake, because in the song, y'all know Drake gets called a PDF. I'm not going to say the full word here. And he took offense to not Kendrick Lamar saying that, obviously, although he did, but he was suing because he claimed UMG used that song not only to diminish Drake's brand, to get a discount on the upcoming deal he's going to be signing with UMG, and just to make him look bad because UMG wanted to get an advantage in negotiations. So let's see what's going on with this, and we'll get into what happened to Drake taking the L and what Judge Vargas had to say. Check it out.
Pop anthem at the center of one of the most famous rap beefs.
Stop playing it.
And this morning, the legal battle over Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us, a diss track directed at fellow rap superstar Drake, could be near its end after a federal judge tossed Drake's defamation suit against his label, Universal Music Group, determining the song's lyrics in question a non-actionable opinion. Lamar, who is also represented by UMG, is not a defendant, but Drake asked the court to take a look at these lyrics.
Say Drake.
Man, stop playing it. Jesus.
Categorizing the lyrics as dealing the metaphorical killing blow,
YouTube's
but adding
get us.
the broader context of a heated rap battle with incendiary language and offensive accusations hurled by both participants would not incline the reasonable listener to believe Not Like Us in parts verifiable facts.
A rap battle historically has always been between two rappers that exchange the most aggressive rhymes that they can in order to insult. What this means for culture going forward is that rap beefs continually will be protected underneath the First Amendment and freedom of speech. This is a part of the culture of hip hop.
Not Like Us was released amid a weeks-long exchange of diss tracks in spring of 2024, and just hours after Drake's Family Matters, which seemingly accused Lamar of cheating on his life partner.
Oh, dang. Stop playing the music.
Lamar going on to perform the hit at this year's Super Bowl halftime show.
Oh my gosh, I gotta keep. I'm
releasing
sorry,
a
y'all.
statement saying from the outset, this suit was an affront to all artists and their creative expression, adding they look forward to continuing their work, successfully promoting Drake's music.
Oh, shut
Overnight,
up,
a
UMG.
spokesperson for Drake telling ABC News they plan to appeal the judge's ruling.
And again, Kendrick Lamar is not named in the lawsuit. He also hasn't responded to our request for comment. Meanwhile, advocates for the Protect Black Art movement are calling this a win for creative freedom. A lot of questions about whether this reignites the beef, if we see more diss tracks, but, you know.
Well, you know, if you're going to lose the lawsuit, just go ahead and go back at him, man. Keep on going.
Yep.
Just don't let it turn violent.
Yeah. Okay. Shout out to Michael Strahan. Again, Drake got to take the L on this one. Had to take the L in the beef, and now you got to take an L on this side. Let's go ahead and get into more details about what the judge had to say, and then we'll actually pull up the official order from the judge and see what the judge says there. Drake loses a defamation lawsuit versus UMG over Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us, which is not technically true, but we'll take it anyway. A defamation lawsuit that Drake brought against Universal Music Group was tossed out Thursday by a federal judge who said the lyrics branding the superstar as a PDF in Kendrick Lamar's diss track, Not Like Us, were opinion. Judge Jeanette A. Vargas rejected the suit in a written opinion that began by citing the vitriolic war of words that erupted in the spring of 2024 and saying the case arose for perhaps the most infamous rap battle in the genre's history. The case stemmed from an epic feud between two of hip-hop's biggest stars over one of 2024's biggest songs, which won Record of the Year and Song of the Year at the Grammys, got the most Apple Music streams worldwide, and helped make this year's Super Bowl halftime show the most watched ever. Vargas said a reasonable listener could not have concluded that Not Like Us was conveying objective facts about Drake. Although the accusation that the plaintiff is a PDF is certainly a serious one, the broader context of a heated rap battle with incendiary language and offensive accusations hurled by both participants would not incline the reasonable listener to believe that Not Like Us imparts verifiable facts about the plaintiff, Judge Vargas wrote. Filed in January, the lawsuit alleged that UMG intentionally promoted the track despite knowing that it contained false and defamatory PDF allegations against Drake and suggested listeners should resort to vigilante violence, or justice, we should say. The lawsuit also alleged that the track tarnished his reputation and decreased the value of his brand. I think it did. Universal Music Group, the parent record label for both artists, denied the allegations. From the onset, the suit was an affront to all artists and their creative expressive and never should have seen the light of day, UMG said in a statement. We're pleased with the court's dismissal and look forward to continuing our work successfully promoting Drake's music and investing in his career. They said, hey, Drake, it was a good fight. We'll go back to work. The judge noted that Drake and Lamar both have recording contracts with UMG. Lamar was not named in the suit. There was no immediate response to the mails sent to representatives for Drake seeking comment. Interesting. Okay. Not Like Us was released amid a flurry of insult tracks between the artists. Lamar's songs called out the Canadian-born Drake by name and impugned his authenticity, attacking him as a colonizer of rap culture who's not like us in Lamar's home turf of Compton, California, and more broadly, West Coast rap. Not Like Us also makes insinuations about Drake's intimate life, including I Hear You Like I'm Young, implications that he rejects. In his lawsuit, Drake asserted that the song amounts to falsely accusing him of being an offender, engaging in PDF acts, and more. He also blamed the tune for attempting break-ins and shootings of a security guard at his Toronto home. The mansion was depicted in an aerial photo in the song's cover art. In June, the judge heard oral arguments on the request to toss out the lawsuit. Vargas said in her opinion Thursday that Not Like Us dealt the metaphorical killing blow in the feud between the two artists. I agree. So shout out to Judge Vargas for giving her opinion on the rap beef. The song contains lyrics explicitly accusing Drake of being a PDF, set to a catchy beat and a propulsive bass line. Not Like Us went on to become a cultural sensation, achieving immense commercial success and critical acclaim, she said. Prior to that, the judge noted, as she summarized the back and forth insults, Drake mocked Lamar's height and shoe size. And questioned his success in an April 2024 track called Push-Ups, while Lamar insulted Drake's fashion sense the same month in Euphoria. From there, Vargas wrote, the insults escalated, becoming vicious and personal. The judge said she considered the forum in which the insults occurred and concluded that the average listener thinks a diss track is the product of a thoughtful and disinterested investigation conveying to the public fact-checked, verifiable content. All right. Vargas wrote that Not Like Us was replete with profanity, trash talking, threats of violence, and figurative and hyperbolic language, all of which are indicative, excuse me. A reasonable listener, she added, would conclude that Lamar is rapping hyperbolic vituperations. Judge Vargas, what you talking about? Just use normal words. Anyway, so the judge said, hey, you wanted to go down this path. Y'all started it, finish it. Pick your stuff up and go home. All right, Kendrick Lamar won. We've also got the OVO docket here. It says the spokesperson for Drake has released the following statement regarding Judge Vargas's ruling. They say, we intend to appeal today's ruling and we look forward to the count of appeals reviewing it. Okay, is it going to be? Let it go, man. Let it go. I think it's time for Drake to let this one go. Continue to work with UMG, get another great contract, get another $500, $400 million and just move on, man. This one was also posted. It says on Drake's lawsuit being dismissed, a spokesperson from UMG, y'all heard this quote, said, from the onset, the suit was an affront to all artists and their creative expression and never should have seen the light of day. We're pleased with the court's dismissal and look forward to continuing our work successfully promoting Drake's music and investing in his career. Drake's going to make them a lot of money. Drake's going to make a lot of money himself, so they'll be fine. All right. And then we have the quote from them there. Now, there has been a lot of outrage when it comes to how the world was feeling about this lawsuit being dismissed. One person went so far as to say, this corporate spin BS at its finest, talking about UMG's statement. UMG calling it a win for artistic freedom after cashing in on a diss track, accusing the biggest star of being a PDF. Oh, and there's nothing free about speech when you're funding bots and paying the media to push a smear campaign against the artists that keep y'all's effing lights on. The only reason I wanted to see this moving forward, the main reason I wanted to see this moving forward, I wanted to get to discovery and I wanted us to finally have to see from both sides how the music industry is actually run. I know it. Amy knows it. Several of y'all who have been involved in the music industry knows it, but we wanted to see the evidence and the fact of the way things were presented. Judge said, we ain't doing all that. All right. Drake, you chose to go down this path and UMG chose to promote it. That's something y'all have to deal with. It's the nature of the game. Stop being petty and let it go. All right, let's get into this actual order from Judge Vargas. And what does she say here? Judge Vargas says this case arises from perhaps the most infamous rap battle in the genre's history, with vitriolic war of words that erupted between superstar recording artist Drake and Kendrick Lamar in the spring of 2024. Over the course of 16 days, the two artists released 8 so-called diss tracks with increasingly heated rhetoric, loaded accusations, and violent imagery. The song in this feud, or the main song in this feud, Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar, dealt the metaphorical killing blow. The song contains lyrics explicitly accusing Drake of being a PDF, set to a catchy beat and bass line. Not Like Us went on to become a cultural sensation, achieving immense commercial success and critical acclaim. Both Drake and Kendrick Lamar have recording contracts with the defendant UMG Records. Drake alleges that UMG intentionally published and promoted Not Like Us while knowing that the song's insinuations that he was having intercourse with minors were false and defamatory. Drake has brought this action against UMG for defamation, harassment in the second degree, and violation of Section 349 of the New York General Business Law. Before the court is defendant's motion to dismiss pursuant to 12b-6 of the federal rules, because the court concludes that allegedly defamatory statements in Not Like Us are non-actionable opinions. The motion to dismiss is granted. And there it goes. Shout out to and congratulations to UMG for dodging another bullet. All right. Then the judge goes on to give all this background. We're not going to read through all this. I mean, this thing is 38 pages long, very thorough from Judge Vargas, but I want to skip through and go to the end and see what Judge Vargas has to say in conclusion. All right. We know the story. We know what happened. I covered it here at length, but Judge Vargas has this to say in closing. The amended complaint from Drake, all right, is somewhat vague as to who the class of consumers is and what product, goods, or services they are purchasing. It is not clear how the alleged redirection of Spotify's users who are searching for other related songs and artists to the recording would amount to actual harm of consumers or any limitation of their choices. At most, the allegations suggest that UMG engaged in practices to make Not Like Us seem more popular than it actually was, without connecting that activity to any consumer harm. Such practices, without more, do not state a claim under Section 349 of the GBL. Defendant's motion to dismiss is granted. The clerk of court respectfully directed to terminate ECF, and then they've got the claims there, 42, 78, and 81, and to close the case. Now, people were asking me for receipts on what I said, so I got to go back and do a rewind of what I said, because I know y'all aren't going to do the research and you're just going to say things you remember from one thing that I said. Here's what I said in the past, the last 2 videos I posted about this lawsuit with Drake. First video, and I'm not going to play the whole thing, just the first minute or so. This is what I said about Drake's amended lawsuit. A lot of people who were in the comments of the videos I made about Drake and UMG. And I think the reason that we're seeing so much outrage and so much push against what Drake is doing is, one factor I agree with, is that Drake, I mean, it's kind of lame for him filing this lawsuit. I've said that before, right? The second thing is people just can't stand Drake and they think this is about the beef. And we're going to see laid out very clearly in this amended complaint that it's not just about the beef. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get into it. If y'all are familiar with this, let me know what you think. If not, okay, so obviously there I said I thought this lawsuit by Drake was petty. Then I went on to say this about UMG. Keep in mind, I wanted this to get to discovery so bad. For the reasons I already said, I wanted to see the playbook. I wanted UMG to finally have to show, okay, we talked to this person, we moved things around here. This is the bots that were used. And remember, we already had 2 players that stepped out of this lawsuit, Spotify, iHeartRadio. They said, no, we're not going through this, because if this gets through discovery, we're going to be in trouble. There's a reason why that happened, guys. All right. So then I had to say this. This was the last and most recent video I made about this in April, once Drake's amended lawsuit dropped. Check this out. As we pointed out in the original lawsuit and the amended lawsuit from Drake, Drake made it very clear. This is not about Kendrick Lamar. This is not about the quote unquote art. This is about UMG using a friendly fade, as Kendrick Lamar called it, right? Using a friendly fade to benefit themselves in a business way. And that's what Kanye's really trying to key in on. These 2 guys just wanted to go back and forth. You got the culture versus the industry, and see what happened, who won at the end, right? And it could have just been left at that. But now UMG got involved and they took things further, and they didn't have to let this song be released, first of all, because it was released under UMG. They didn't have to do the things that they did. And then it ended up hurting Drake in more ways than just losing a rap battle, which, again, Drake is going to Drake, as we've said before. So he was always going to be the industry guy. Nothing was going to change that. Kendrick was always going to be the culture guy. But now you have UMG going out of their way to try and get a discount on Drake's next deal and make him look bad. I don't know how this is going to play out, but if this goes all the way, I think Drake is going to win this one. Not only is Drake going to win this one, I have a feeling UMG is going to have to settle too, and he's going to continue to do what he does. Or Drake is going to disappear, but I don't want to say that on live stream, even though I just did. Hope that's not the case either. Y'all let me know what you think about this in the comments. So again, I was really hoping this was going to play out, and I don't think that Drake is done here either. I think he should let it go. The pettiness didn't pay off, and we didn't even get to discovery. I want to see this get to discovery so bad. I don't think we're going to see it. If Drake can take what Judge Vargas said in this order and maybe redefine and change some of the ways he structured this lawsuit, I think he's going to have a better chance with this the next go around. We'll have to wait and see. Is it going to win on appeal? I don't think so. I think they're going to have to refile this thing. I want to know what y'all think about this in the comments and in the chat.